From Saturday night to Sunday money. Some wins make a day, some wins make a season, some it might just make a career. Richard Petty said, "The best you can do on any given Sunday is put yourself in a position to win, and circumstances dictate the outcome." Benny Tyrrell put himself in a position to win tonight, and circumstances may have just dictated his career. The Throwback Classic at Hickory, it had it all, from fights to a feel-good story. And it's a race that will live past any Saturday or Sunday night.
I'm Benny Tyrrell, and I just won 50 grand, baby.
Woo!
And this? It's Monday night, actually, not Saturday night.
Monday night, Monday morning, it's nighttime. This is On Tour from Hickory Motor Speedway and the Throwback Classic, and it starts right now. Everyone wants to be there on Sunday, but as every short tracker will tell you, there is no Sunday without Saturday night. And every week, all across the nation, late models own Saturday night. This is the ballad of the sport's backbone, its hometown, its weekly star, and its greatest racing. This is Saturday night. This is On Tour. Welcome back to On Tour. My name is Buddy Pulley. I head up the late model coverage here on ATYL Media. The CARS Tour was at Hickory Motor Speedway for its annual Throwback Classic, where the series paid homage to racing's past, and whether it be classic NASCAR schemes or tributes to the legends of short track racing, the entire weekend was a cacophony of nostalgia and respect from the entire garage. This weekend also featured the biggest purse in late model racing. Thanks to the Tour, Flow Racing, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., $50,000 for the late model stocks and $30,000 for the pro late models was up for grabs in the weekend's two races, ramping up car counts, anticipation, and as you'll see, aggression. First up was the pro late model event, where after 44 laps, rain cut Saturday's action short, but when we resumed on Sunday, Spencer Davis dominated the last 56, but it was not without contest. He and Luke Baldwin put on a barn burner in the final 5 laps of the race. Contact was imminent and anything but casual, but in the end, it was Spencer Davis eking out Luke Baldwin by just a nose and taking home the 30 grand.
It means so much, man. I'll say it time and time again. Ben Kennedy Racing, Surf USA Mobile, Jimmy Kitchens, Tony Uri Jr., Tony Uri Sr., my buddy Brian that works for me has been with me on and off for about 15 years. My best friend Keith up on the spotter tower, my old man. We all work so hard for this, man. And to get that call last offseason, to drive that 96 car, and to know that, like, it's at my range. I get to mold their program to what I want, to bring some of my guys on, and to just come here. This is win number 4 for the year myself, win number 5 for the program. Dude, it's unbelievable. I know Jan and the guys are over at Brazil at Surf headquarters. I'm sure they were ecstatic. And, dude, it means so much. There's so many layers of this. It's so much more than just $30,000. It's a kid, or now a guy who was working in a machine shop racing his own late model 10 times a year. Just got done truck racing on his own deal. And with $30,000, man, across the team, it's so awesome. There's a fine line, right? You know, you watch these old races, you see these guys like Terry Seneker, Bobby Gill, Loggy Grill. They're going to race you how you're going to be raced. And, you know, I proved yesterday. I got into Caden once or twice, let him go. It's a respect thing. I'm not sure what happened, but Luke drove over my left rear. Like, man, he's antsy. I got to play smart here. And I'll have to watch the replay. But I know in my heart, man, it's the last lap. We're both modified racers. He's modified racer by heart. I'm modified racer because I love it in my heart. I owned a car for a couple years raced for the Hillbillies at a 79 car. And I'm like, he's going to do all he can do. Luke's a hard-nosed racer. He's very good at what he does. And I just knew I couldn't let him get back to my back bumper. I held him out, man. Did what I had to do. We came home with $30,000. As long as we make it through Tech tonight, we're going to be celebrating pretty hard. Man, I saw that gold wheel at my door, and I'm like, there's no way I didn't get him. We drag race straight, and if I didn't get him, I was going to be very surprised.
You can now watch that race in full on Flow Racing's YouTube channel, and I highly recommend you do so. If you thought that pro race was something, well, get ready, because the late model stock event was all that and a bag of chips. 41 cars entered the race, 30 made the show, and one man walked away with the loot, and you already know it was Mini Tyrrell, scoring his third victory of the season and fourth of his career. But before we deep dive into the main event, let's take a look at the rest of the results from Hickory. Taking a look at the results from the Throwback Classic at Hickory Motor Speedway, it was of course Mini Tyrrell escaping the carnage and scoring the victory. Joining him on the podium, veteran Jared Fryer laid in the weeds, and like Tyrrell was able to avoid the mayhem in front of him, and Connor Jones advances all the way from the LCQ to a third place finish. Let's hear from those two after their savvy performances.
When they all kind of got squirrely there, I kind of waited, didn't know which way they were going, and as soon as they went right, I gassed up so I didn't get run into from behind, and luckily was able to clear it, and just things worked out really good for me. But yeah, I don't know, just a little surprised, but not really with the carnage and the way they kind of drove each other. You know, it seems like there's a common denominator out there that seems to end up running into somebody every week. So, you know, when you see them bouncing off each other, it's going to get wild. You got to be on your toes and got to drive out the windshield.
I knew we had a good car right off the bat. We were debating right off the start whether to come down and put a rubber in the left rear, give it a little more drive, but I really don't think we needed it. We had plenty of drive, we had plenty of turn. I feel like we could roll the center faster than a lot of these guys could. But just hats off to all my guys. You know, they worked their ass off all weekend to really give us a really good car. I knew we didn't have much for qualifying, so I was a little worried on that one, and I guess I had a right to be. But, you know, we made the race during the last chance race because I knew we had a really good race car. I didn't think it was going to qualify good, but I knew we had a good race car, and I knew we could make it work in the race.
Landen Huffman and Doug Barnes Jr. both with much-needed top 5 finishes. Cade Brown, quiet but consistent, he comes home in the 6th position. Caden Quapple, after double duty, he finishes in the 7th position. Laney Bice with another top 10 finish in 8th. Deke McCaskill, methodical drive up to the 9th position. And Graham Holler, like Connor Jones, advances from the LCQ to a top 10 finish. Some other notables: Chase Burrow, the Langley winner, comes home in the 11th position. Ronnie Bassett Jr. won this race last year. He finishes 13th. Connor Hall with a subpar performance. He finishes 14th. And Donovan Strauss, like Connor Hall, had to take a provisional to get in the show. Landon Lewis and Tristan McKee crashed each other out of the race while battling for the win. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Caden Honeycutt feels as though he was robbed of 80 grand as he was leading the pro late model race when during the rain delay an unapproved adjustment would send him to the rear. And in the late model stock event, 10 laps to go, he's leading the race but was nabbed with a restart violation. He decided to pull it in and relegate himself to a 23rd place finish. Carson Lofton, Chad McCumbee, Lane Riggs, and Trayton Lapsovich in his return all were taken out of the crash with McKee and Lewis.
It's hard. I can't really sit here and be lying to you if I said I could afford to fix this thing. So it's I'm gonna have to really try to scrape together some help to do it. So just sucks. I just can't afford to keep tearing up race cars, and it's happened a couple times this year. And about on my last leg. So my other car is still in pieces from Ace. So it's I have to try to get one of them together to go to Hickory with.
In racing, you often hear the term watershed moment, a turning point where it seems as though fate is the only thing that decides whether or not you're meant to do this. Every great career has one, and when the caution fell with 10 laps to go, Mini Tyrrell was 4th. A solid run, but likely not enough to keep going past Hickory. But when the Tristan McKee and Landon Lewis debacle occurs, Tyrrell avoids it by the skin of his teeth, all while Caden Honeycutt is under review for his restart violation. Just like that, the lead of this motor race has fallen in the 81's lap. The likes of Jared Fryer and Connor Jones would all take shots at Tyrrell, but it was all for naught. The 50 grand was his, and suddenly the Aces and the Caraways could all be forgotten. Mini Tyrrell had his watershed moment, and to be honest with you, it couldn't have happened to a better dude. Let's hear from your newest $50,000 Mini Tyrrell.
Oh my God, dude! I words can't even explain how much this means to me and my team, man. We, Brandon and Dan and Hippie and Colin, everybody at the shop that works on this thing, dude. they work their absolute tails off on this car. And Brandon, he wants nothing but the best for me at all times. He's like another father to me. We've been together for 10 years, and just so glad that I've been able to give him a season that's got a couple wins and give him what he's worked so hard for me for. You know, it's outstanding, dude. I'm so speechless. I feel like I'm out of words. I don't have enough for it, but dude, I'm on cloud nine, man. Yeah. You know, that all depended on how this went, and car's in one piece. I mean, actually, she looks great on the left side. So, you know, the car's in one piece. We're 50 grand richer, and I mean, I think yeah, we're going to the next one. Maybe we can somehow jump back into this championship battle. I don't know what the points are going to look like, but I ain't worried about it, man. I want to go win a couple more races.
As his old hat in the CARS Tour, we had some bent fenders and some bent feelings. Tristan McKee and Landen Lewis had battled hard periodically throughout the night, but with 10 laps to go, it seemed as though Tristan McKee had it well in hand. But on the aforementioned restart, the two met again, and all hell broke loose. There's a lot to unpack here. So before we get to it, I'm going to let you see the wreck, the altercation that followed, and I'm going to let you hear what Landen Lewis's take was on the incident, and then we'll analyze.
At the edge, this is coming off turn 4. There's the initial contact. Lewis and McKee off the corner. They stay locked together. It hooks Lewis in front of the pack. Lofton takes a savage hit to the right side of the car.
You're racing for the win, going 50,000, going for a win. The CARS Tour, it's not easy. When you're in that position, you got to tack on it. And just like I told them earlier, you know, it probably was a little too early for, you know, that. But at the same time, if I would have waited a half a lap later, I would have been out of contention and been moved too. So you got to go when you get the opportunity. And we were in the perfect spot to take the lead, and that's what we needed to do. And he wants to right rear hook me, and just super unacceptable.
Okay, first off, you heard Landen Lewis say that Tristan McKee right-reared him. I don't subscribe to that narrative at all. Now, do I blame Landen Lewis for the incident? Yes and no. It was an aggressive move, but if the roles were reversed, I'm willing to bet we see the same thing. You're fighting for the biggest prize in late model stock history, which is why you saw Matt Piercy and Chad McCumbee up in Landen's grill after the incident. In today's day and age, I'm willing to call that a racing deal. But if that's a racing deal, then maybe it warrants opening Pandora's box and debating what exactly we call racing. Mini Tyrrell had a front row seat and Chad McCumbee had his take, so let's hear what they had to say.
I mean, you kind of seen that coming a little bit. You know, you got kids that run Legends cars and they teach them to beat and bang and do this stupid stuff every single week, and you know, you sit there and watch it in front of you just going in there and dive bombing each other and just hitting each other, and it's such a joke what it's all kind of turned into. It's just so disheartening. So I knew it was going to come at some point, but good Lord protected all of us, and came out of it okay. It's just such a bummer. We got a tore up race car, and I don't really see why we should, but we do. I mean, a couple of those kids always usually drive pretty clean. Some of them never drive clean, and then you got some veterans up there that were probably getting super annoyed by it all. So, you know, I would have felt the same way, but yeah, I don't really have much positive to say because I'm so frustrated, unfortunately.
They were racing each other so hard, the 97 and the 7. He kept telling me, you know, I feel like I pushed the issue a little bit with the 97 early because I knew I could go around them, but we ended up racing each other so hard that the 7 was able to get way out. And, you know, they just went at it again on the next restart, and they kept on reminding me, they're like, they're going to take each other out. And I don't know really what happened. Looked like maybe Landen got into Tristan and hooked him, and I was just in the right place at the right time. I was in perfect position on the outside and just pedaled down and rolled on through it.
At the end of the day, Lewis made the decision that that move was worth $50,000. But if you paired that move with the finish of Caraway, you might ask, was it worth a championship? That's going to do it for this episode of On Tour. The next episode will follow the CARS Tour race at Anderson Motor Speedway in 2 weeks, where we see the return of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the baseball car. Follow us at ATYL Media and at the Buddy Pulley for all at the track coverage. And I'm excited to announce that in addition to this show, I'm now a writer at Racing America for the CARS Tour. I'll leave a link in the description below for this past weekend's article. And as always, support your local short tracks, and we'll see you after Anderson.
Yeah!